Okay, so I came tonight. I was at the January 3rd meeting, and a lot of things happened that night. It was announced that the manager would be not reappointed, and the township received a new solicitor. And some things were being said that were concerning to me as a not a resident of this township, but of Chester County. So it got me to think I need to ask some questions, because there seem to be a lot of questions regarding Mimi Gleason being let go from this township. So I filed a right to know request. My first one was asking to provide to me any and all documents, emails, texts, so forth, written regarding the dismissal of Mimi Gleason for the period of December 25th to January 4th, include but not limited to any members or financial transactions or requests. So I was told that the search was happening and that it would take 30 days additional. So during that time, I did receive some information which didn't make sense to me, because how is it that, the chief sent an email out to all his staff saying that the manager is no longer here, but no one else did. And I found that to be odd, especially knowing that everybody would be like, well, now who's in charge? Okay, so it made no sense to me so I filed this request. It says it's granted. And what I received in my first request, again, was the letter from the chief, which is very well written. I received another thing, and then I received a string of text messages, and that was it. So I started to question, where was the rest of it? And I was told it doesn't exist. Your right to know officer, Jennifer, kept saying there's nothing. I've given you everything responsive. And I said, this can't be true. So when I did receive this, and why I believe this not to be true, is because in these text messages, there was a string between Teresa, Raj, and Brian, where Teresa informed the other two that she had instructed Beth Jones to give I sent an email to Beth Jones authorizing the 3-month severance with no severance letter for Mimi. The money will be in her account on Monday at the earliest and Tuesday at the latest. And I strongly oppose Sean as solicitor. It's just her right to do. Mr. Dunn, Brian, said, where did the 3 months come? I thought we were doing 60 days. I thought you said 3 months. Oh, well, it is done. Brian, no, I specified 60. Teresa, well, so it goes. And then I'm assuming this is Raj responding. Teresa, we need to do an exec session after the meeting and vote on it formally. Teresa's response, it is done. It needed one supervisor. I did it. I want no letter, no agreement. Just give her the money. The staff is in shock. Brian's response, Teresa, you can go to jail for this. Stop. So when I questioned where the email was, I didn't receive it. It was a back and forth battle. I then, under advisement, recommendation by someone, to file a separate right to know, asking for the email itself. So I was more generalized, and I just said, give me all from December 29th between Teresa and Beth Jones. Very specific. What I received in reply to that was a bunch of texts between Teresa and Beth Jones from 2018, 2019, none of it having to do with my request. So I'm confused, and I have questions regarding all of this, as well as I think your residents might, once they learn about this stuff. guess the first question is Teresa, who told you it only took one supervisor to approve this measure?
At the time, I was under the understanding that one supervisor could ask for that, and so I did.
But you've been a board supervisor for years. You would know better.
We haven't terminated anybody in years.
Any measure that approves finances outside the budget parameters requires the board to vote. You know that. This is outside the budget parameters. But, so you said it only took one, so I did it.
But it wasn't done.
No, it wasn't. And that's only simply because somebody else put a stop to it. Now, what gets me is when I asked further through 2 requests asking for the same information regarding this email, I was told it doesn't exist. It's not there. There are no texts. As a matter of fact, this came through. So finally, to answer your question, and this is a response from Jennifer, as to why you were not provided the text message that was sent to Beth from Teresa, telling her to transfer money to Mimi Gleason. After touching base with Beth Jones, she clarified that this communication actually occurred via telephone, not text. So I was told it doesn't exist. It's not there, and then it is. So now I'm being told it's through telephone. And then today, magically, I receive the email that never existed, that was done through telephone. And now I get it today emailed to me. So I need answers to this on why I didn't receive what I asked for originally. I mean, are you Jennifer?
Jennifer, yes.
Why didn't you give me what I asked for?
So right-to-know requests are for documents.
It's not for me as a paralegal to do research. So if somebody requested our budget, for instance, that's a document that we have and we would send it to you. When somebody requests anything that references money, we're a little limited because we don't have a document that says anything that references money.
But I asked specifically financing regarding the dismissal of Mimi Gleason.
Right, so we don't have a document that says the dismissal of Mimi Gleason.
Oh, no, dismissal has a definition.
But we don't have a document.
It is not a directive word, it's a definition word. So I'm not going to argue semantics with you on that. So I understand your point, but my request was very clear. If not the first one, the second one was abundantly clear. Give me all emails from those 2 days. You didn't. You were told to. You didn't.
Yeah.
So again, why are we covering the fact that this email that went out from Teresa to Beth Jones telling her to transfer the money, and then it was told to me it doesn't exist? Why? Were you covering for something?
So, Tom, Jen, as the right-to-know officer, will make the request through our IT consulting company based on the language in your right-to-know.
I'm an IT person. I know what you're talking about. So trust me, I know the search parameters. I know how to do them.
And so that's great. She requested exactly what you requested.
No, she didn't.
I did.
What specifically did I ask for? Because I can read it again, the first one, and I grant you the ability to say the first one was kind of confusing. I'll give you that one. But the second one was abundantly clear. I was referencing the text that Teresa said in her text to Brian, to Raj, that email, and I was told it doesn't exist. And I was given email or text messages that have nothing to do with it. So if your argument is on the first request, no, you're making an argument based on your position. And I'm telling you, based on that, if you're that specific, then why on the second request, under the guidance of Teresa, would you then provide to me texts that have nothing to do with my request in what you said about being transparent?
Mr. Pate, thank you for this is public comment. I believe they've tried to give the best explanation they can give. As you know, under the right to know law, you have the opportunity for appeal if you're unhappy with, you know.
Oh, no. I get that. And my attempt to get this information, because I know the process and I could appeal it, and that could be costly for West Whiteland.
No, I understand that. And I believe Ms. Keller has explained to the best of her ability what she did. The supervisors have additional questions of that. They could ask that. You know,
All right.
this is not a, you know, interrogation of Ms. Keller.
Yeah, no, I'm asking, I know, and I'm asking the township personnel to answer these questions. I mean, the fact that it was
When
let
the chair
out.
can take them and get back to staff, and maybe that's, you know.
Can I say one thing too? I can honestly say that we do try to go above and beyond and request all information and give everything that's been requested. And there's no cover up. Everyone is fair, very transparent, and what you see is open books here. And we have nothing to hide, and we stand behind our work here. So Jen's done an awesome job, and she's doing it to the best of her ability, working with several consultants and staff members, trying to coordinate the information, working with Sean and Alex at their firm to make sure that we're giving good information and everything that is being requested.
Okay.
And I can attest to that.
Oh, you can.
Okay. So now I'm going to ask you, Teresa, regarding this email. When you sent this and then told the two other members sitting up here that it's done, what did you mean by that?
So I'm gathering that you didn't, I was advocating for an employee that was unfairly
Your
dismissed.
friend?
She has become a friend since. At that time, she was not my friend. She was a coworker. We worked for 4 years together in the
No,
township.
you're an elected
I came to
official, and
respect
she
her,
worked for the township.
abilities, her intelligence, and there were government issues when I first started that I learned through Mimi and through PSATs and other, outlets to learn. My major in school was never government. I went from sociology to medicine. So, I leaned on her when I first started here
Just when you
in
first
2018. Now, I don't regret advocating for her. I felt and still feel she was unjustly terminated. There is no record of any misbehavior or any reason for termination. And truthfully, I don't know to this day why she was terminated, even though I've asked repeatedly. So if you're asking me to apologize for asking for compensation for Ms. Gleason, you're not going to get it because I feel she was justified in getting a decent compensation package for being let go unjustly.
Oh. Okay. So are you familiar with this email that you sent to Beth on the 29th, telling her to transfer the money?
I think so, and she sent back
Okay.
that she couldn't do that.
Right. So you said to please pay Mimi 3-month severance pay effective immediately at 151. Did the board approve that?
We just had that discussion. No, I was acting
Okay.
independently.
So when you replied back to Beth, it says, okay, I hope I can get a majority. It seems as if they forgot that detail. Who is they and what are you talking about?
Raj and Brian had the vote on, forgot the detail of providing a severance package.
You had a discussion about severance with them
No, we
prior
did not.
to this email?
No, we did not. I was told, I will tell you exactly what I was told. I was told you're outvoted and we're firing her tomorrow. That's what I was told. Okay? I was never told why. I was never told the reason. I still don't know why.
But Mr. Dunn made clear on January 3rd that when he met with you that Tuesday night at the restaurant,
At first
he
I
did
was,
say he
I was-
you were good with it.
I was okay with it, and then I went home and rethought it and decided there was no justification. And there was no reasoning except that
What's with the clicking
they
of the
wanted
pen?
somebody else, but no definition of who somebody else was or why.
I want to clarify one thing. She was not terminated. She was just not reappointed.
She was terminated.
She was not terminated.
Raj walked into this building and
Contract
told her,
was
that's
up
a
for renewal,
termination.
and she wasn't renewed. So, period.
Teresa,
I'm not having this argument again.
I'm not here to argue what happened. Tuesday, Brian confirmed with me that you were on board. You were on board till I informed Mimi. And when Mimi talked to you, you changed your mind.
No, actually, when my husband talked to me Tuesday
It doesn't
night, I
work
changed my
that way.
mind.
Did you contact me before I contacted Mimi?
No, I didn't realize you were gonna walk in here, tell her she
So-
was terminated and walk out the building.
So if you had changed your mind, you should have contacted me saying, Raj, I changed my mind. We did not do that. Once I convey this to Mimi, there's no going back from there. There's no going back on this. When you do a process like
When
this,
the conversation starts with you're outvoted, at what point of me telling you I changed my mind would have mattered?
so at least I could make it clear. I went to Mimi on board with all three of us being on the same page. Once that's done, once you break a glass ceiling, you cannot put it back. That's what it is. So you cannot redo processes like this. Let's move on. Somebody else. You have anything more?
No, I just, it's still, I don't feel like, my question was answered regarding this email. I don't think that you guys are gonna answer the question. So to tell me that you worked diligently to get me something that I had to spend 6 weeks to fight to get today, which should have been provided to me originally. I'm sorry, I gotta say no. That's not how government's supposed to operate, and transparency. To provide me with text messages from 2018 that have nothing to do with my request is just, it's not acceptable behavior for townships to operate. And this isn't the first time I've had to do this in front of a township, and it's not going to be my last, unfortunately, until government gets it. You work for us, whether you like it or not. And if you don't like it, then leave. So, thank you.